afternoon, friends. I gotta turn on my lights in here. It's the sun's getting ready to set. It is 4:59, so let's just say 5 o'clock. And we're supposed to be getting lots of snow. They first said 4 to 6 inches of snow, and that's starting tomorrow and then into Wednesday. But my daughter just posted on Facebook, and she gets a little bit more accurate weather reports. We're supposed to get 5 to 9 inches. So we will see. I got to put some more wood in the fire. The girlies were all taking naps, and when I got up and started up the camera here, they woke up. So first, I would like to apologize for not putting out any videos this past weekend. I did start the vlog on Saturday, but not too much was going on here. My husband was off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then he was off today because of Martin Luther King Day. Let's see. Yesterday, I didn't really do any kind of vlogging because my other channel, I have to put videos on there now and again too, and I actually filmed 3 videos for that. And filming those videos, it took me about between 3 and 4 hours, and then I had to edit them, and it took me all into last night. So even if I would have vlogged over the weekend, I wouldn't have been able to edit or anything until today. So my house is clean, and the only thing that I have to do is do some vacuuming. I took my shower a little while ago and threw my jammies on. And let me show you outside if you can see. Let's see. Well, in the sky, looking in this camera, it's not showing up like the way that I see it. I mean, here it looks kind of bright, so I'm sure when I put this on the internet, it's going to be bright looking, but it's real darkish gray, and that's because I believe that storm is making its way down this way. So anyhow, I thought what I would do today so that I can get this video uploaded is I said that I would show pictures from my house in Ohio, and I don't know what happened to all those pictures at my house in Ohio. So I have a few pictures I can show of that. I have pictures of my house in Virginia, and then I found some other ones with my house in Chicago. And then I just have like some random pictures, and I organized them all. So let's see how fast I can do this. If this video is going to be long, I will divide it up. And I guess I'll start with my house in Ohio. Now, first let me say the house that we had in Ohio was my in-laws' house. My in-laws, my father-in-law got transferred to Detroit back in 1982, I think it was, and my husband was already at that time, let's see, 27, and he didn't want to move. All his friends, and he had a job, where we were in Ohio, so he stayed. And his parents had built that house, and they thought, oh, well, why don't you just go ahead and stay at this house? And then that way, because my in-laws, their hope was, because they thought that their son would always be in Ohio, never leave Ohio, and, obviously get married, have kids one day, that they would come and retire there. So anyway, my husband and I, we got married in 1984. Josiah was born, we got married September of 1984. Josiah was born July 1985, 10 months later. So we lived in that house for 3.5 years before we moved to Virginia. So I'm just going to show you what the house looked like a little bit, just so you can get a little idea of what it was like when we were there. But some of these pictures are like when my in-laws were still living there. And so anyway, let me just show you, and then we'll move on to the pictures from Virginia. Okay, so this is a picture. This is my husband and his dog Radames, which was an Afghan hound, and this was July of 1979. So my husband was 24 there, and where he is, if you go over to the right, okay, that was the front door. So this closet was like the coat closet, and then you got the TV here, and this is the staircase going upstairs, because it was a split level house. You'll recognize this chair. This is one of those wing chairs. Remember the wing chairs in my dining room and living room that have the beige and the red stripes? That's those chairs. So I told you they were really, really old. And then if you go up the stairs here, around, you go down the stairs, and they had a family room down there, a bathroom, and a utility room, which was their laundry room. And this is my husband with Radames when Radames was just a little puppy. And so they had that paneling there, but then my in-laws did put some wallpaper, because when I had moved in, obviously there was some wallpaper there. And okay, this is one side of the family room, I mean the living room, where they had just this one wall with this ugly, horrid wallpaper that I always hated. And then the other side, which is this side here, and this is my husband with his mom. And this was back, obviously, probably the late 1970s, but that was the other side of the living room. And this is when they had built the house. This is October of 1970. They built that house. It was either October, no, not October, but it was 1968 or 1969. And there was this little patio. But I show this because you can see how our yard moved into like the neighbor's yard there. When we were married and we had Josiah, we got a board-on-board fence, and so and I got a picture of that too. But this was the little patio area, and that's my mother-in-law, and that's my husband. He was 14 when they moved in there, so I don't know, that's probably, let's see, he was 15 or so. Now this is when we got married, and this picture where they're sitting on the couch there, that's where this couch is now. And that was our Dalmatian Gabriel. I was pregnant with Josiah there. And we had painted those walls like a beigey, yellowish beigey color. And then this is the backyard. It was like a forest back there. And then there's that fence that we had put up. And that's Joe. And this is me again. Whoops. I was pregnant with Josiah. And this is in the dining room going out to the patio. And that's my dad and Harry. This is our Dalmatian Gabriel and our next door neighbor's Cocker Spaniel, Shadow. They like to play with each other. And then these are other pictures, the random pictures. So that's from Ohio. And I have other pictures. I just have to find them. Okay, this is right when we moved in to this house in Virginia, and that Carly was 15 months old when we moved in. This is our first Christmas. This was probably November, early December, so she was probably about 16 months old there. And Josiah was 3, and you can see we have our entertainment center there, but we had moved it, and I didn't even have any curtains up at that time. So there's that. This is, I think, the following Christmas. And we had moved the entertainment center, and then we put this little buffet thing that we had. And the railing that you see over here goes down the stairs, and I'll show that, because this house was a split foyer home. The house in Ohio was called a split level. This is called a split foyer, and you'll see why. So there's that. This is me in the kitchen. I'm chopping an onion. And that was looking out the window to the backyard. And this is me with Adam. I was pregnant with Adam when we moved there. and he was about 8, 9 months old there. And look at that ugly refrigerator. That was a refrigerator that the people left. And then we changed that out, obviously. This is that first Christmas that we were there. So no curtains on the walls. We just got blinds up. And there's that entertainment center that we had moved it. This is the house when it was for sale and then sold. That's what it looked like. And my husband didn't get a very good shot here, but my friend Sherry, I talk about my next door neighbor Sherry, she lived here. And so there's that. We had painted that house 3 different times. I mean, 2 different times, so it has 3 different looks, sorry. When we first moved, this is what it looked like. And you'll see where this rail is here. We took that rail out, my father-in-law and Harry, and they built a wall that came over. And you'll see that, but it had ugly linoleum. It's like you walked up the stairs and the living room went right into this kitchen. And then this, you can see the wall right there. And so it split the kitchen from the living room. And then I put some wallpaper up. And that's my mother-in-law. That's Carly. And that's Lorraine, the neighbor next door. And that's a guy that Harry worked with. This is his birthday party when he turned 40 years old. Okay, so when you came up the stairs, see the banister here? The dog's coming up the stairs or going down, whatever. When you turn to the right, you went into the living room kitchen. If you went left, you came down this hallway. That was a closet. That was the bathroom. This was our bedroom, and that was Carly's bedroom. Okay? And so then let me just show you. This is one picture of the bathroom. This is when you first walked in. Of course, there's a sink, and then that's looking at the tub and the shower tub. I mean the toilet and the tub shower. And then this is one angle of Carly's room. And we ended up painting this room like a lavender color. And then that's another angle of her room. And then this is the staircase. So when you come up the stairs, if you went to the left, like I showed you that hallway, if you went right, obviously that was the living room and kitchen. So this was going down the stairs. We replaced this ugly linoleum with tile eventually because that was ugly. A lot of this in this house was ugly. But anyway, then this is going down the stairs. When you go here, this was the laundry / storage room. Going over that way was the boys' bedroom. Going over this way, there was a big, humongous family room, which we ended up dividing it up and putting in a wall and making another bedroom so that Joe could have his own room. And so then going into the boys' room, this was one angle of the room. This was the other angle of the room. And then this is going into that family room. So you can see here, here's this wall here. So this still went over that way. And then it still went over this way here. So let's just show you the wall so you get an idea. And then around from this TV, because you can see the TV right here. So all this over here looked like this. So what we ended up doing, we utilized this section as the family room, and even with this, we put a wall up. So this ended up being over here, which was Josiah's room, and we just put his bed up there, you know, next to that, almost like a huge headboard. But we moved all the family room furniture over here. And this is obviously furniture that we had in Ohio that we brought with us. And this is what our storage room looked like. And then on the other side was where the washer and the dryer was. And then, of course, this is that hallway. This is in the family room looking out. So the storage room was here, and it had 2 doors going in there. And then that was the boys' room. That was a closet under the steps, and then that went upstairs. We bought a little Rottweiler when we lived there, and I only pulled this out so you could see the ugly, nasty linoleum that was in that kitchen. And then I brought this out because I talk about my neighbor Sherry all the time, and this was my neighbor Sherry, and She got breast cancer like right after we moved to go to Chicago. Within like a year and a half, we went back to visit, and she had breast cancer. She went into remission, and then in 2010, March of 2010, she died, which I cried. I was so heartbroken over that. But we put this pool in, and they had just put it in probably like the year before. That's why grass was still filling in there. And then Harry built this little deck, but then he extended it. So the deck went from here, boom, all the way over like this. Like you could get up there and have a hoedown up there, you know, country band or whatever. It was a humongous deck. And then this is Winter. This is our Rottweiler. We still have the Dalmatian too, but that's our Rottweiler. But this is what our neighborhood looked like. Obviously, these are starter homes. This is our backyard. We had a deck, and we had the kids' swing set, and then we had the shed. And I only pulled this out because, and this is, we got a little miniature Schnauzer after we got rid of the Rottweiler. But the nightstand that I show you in Carly's room, this is what it looked like. And now it's white, and I've painted the knobs, but that's what that is. And then this is obviously after I had done some wallpapering. You'll see I had already bought that mirror from Sherry. I told you about that. I made that hat. We still had the ugly linoleum. We hadn't changed that out yet. And then obviously that's just another picture of that. There we go. Now we changed it out, and we had this white linoleum that had like a mauve pink flowers with some blue flowers, and the other side we just put some blue carpet, and then there's that wall that we put in. And then there's Joe. I think he was in 5th grade here, and that's when we got that piano, and we put that piano over here. And this is a couple years before we moved. I had just had Brian. These are all the flowers from the hospital that I brought home. And so you can see the piano there. But anyway, that was our living room. I hated that brown, so we painted it yellow, and we did the shutters like a Wedgwood blue. And then this is the back of the house, and Harry by the pool. And then this is probably a year before we moved, because Brian's 2 there. This is Harry. He was having his 40th birthday party, and that's me and all the little neighbor kids that came with their parents. Obviously, they weren't there by themselves. No, you know what? Yeah, that's Harry's birthday. This is the refrigerator that we replaced and took that ugly gold one out. And this was my birthday, and again, that's our refrigerator. And then there's that. It was my birthday. Okay, so let's see. Let's go on to Chicago. Okay, this was in the summer of 1996. They had already poured our foundation. That's me and the kids. And that would be our basement later. And this is when they started to, I guess I'll just hold them up. They started to put all the insulation into the family room. And then this one's just the kids. And this is when they drywalled it. And this was the picture I put in my Christmas card. I always put a picture of the kids in the Christmas card. And I did this one. That's why they got the Santa hats, because they're holding the brick that was going to be used for our fireplace. And this is what the house looked like after we had moved in. And you can see that spindle work there? I did all of that. This was not long after we moved in. Probably it was that spring or summer, because it was pretty nice out. But then I since changed it. And you can even see, even along this spindle there, if you look close up, you can see a little bit of red in there, but it was red and tan, and I painted all of that by hand, and it took a long time. This was our backyard when we first moved in, so you saw it with the patio and the pool. We put all of that landscaping in, but then we had to tear all those bushes out. They started getting big, but we had to tear them out to do the patio. And on either side of these windows here, I started planting some flowers. And this is from the back side of the yard, what it looked like. This is looking down from the patio out through our backyard, and you can see they're still building houses. Here's another picture. This was probably the summer because my flag's out, and that's after we had even put some landscaping in the front there. Here's my bathroom, my master bathroom. So remember seeing those pictures? That's what it looked like. And there's what it looked like with my tub. And this was Joe's room, which was the den. Remember the pictures of the den? So we had Joe in there until he got his room down in the basement. This was Brian's room, one angle. This is another angle in his room. This was Carly's room when she first moved in. And there's that angle there. Remember I told you she had bay windows? And then this was Adam's room. And then this was the family room, what it looked like when we first moved in. And another angle looking into the living room. And there's the living room. Remember it was blue and hardwood floors. We took that carpet out, had hardwood floors put in. This is the kitchen and what the kitchen looked like. And there's, these pictures are stuck. What's going on? Okay. This is the kitchen. There you go. So there's one angle of it, and I'll show you more. This was obviously the living room. And we took the carpet out in the living room and family room and had hardwood floors put in so that all of the house downstairs was hardwood. This was the dining room when we first moved in, and you remember this china cabinet was the one that we had downstairs in that family room in Virginia, and that little buffet that was by the rail. There it goes. That was our dining room set that we had when we lived in Ohio, and then when we moved to Virginia, having that split foyer home, we had to divide it up. So then we brought it up and put it back into the dining room. Here's another angle of the kitchen. And this hallway is the hallway that went into the dining room. This was our broom closet. This here was our double wide pantry, which you'll see. This went into the den. That door went out to the garage, and there was a door over there that went into the laundry room. So there was that. And see that refrigerator? That was our refrigerator that we had bought in Virginia. And you got to remember, because when you're building a house, you got to buy all your appliances and everything. So we just brought a refrigerator with us. This was in the foyer, looking up the stairs. If you came around the stairs, that went to our room. Then there was a big double wide storage closet. That was Adam's room. This was Brian's room. Over that way was a bathroom, and then Carly's room. And then again, this is probably, we'd lived there for a couple years, and that was the landscaping, what it looked like when we put it in. And you can see all the painting around the door and the rails and all that. I did that. This is the flower bed on this side of the back of the house that we put that in. But then you know that we put like big, huge perennial beds in. I ended up taking out all of these flowers except the rose bushes. Well, that's a lilac, but the rose bushes here, because from here and all the way around and the same here, I had those perennial beds put in. This was the landscaping in the front. I had done all that. And there's Elsa and Binks, our cats. And there's Aslan and Noah, our dogs. Here's another angle of our kitchen. And here's Harry and his dad. They had just put the floor in, the tile floor in the laundry room because we had linoleum in there when we built it. And then here's me in the kitchen. And again, that went into the den, but you can see we had this big double wide pantry. It was a huge pantry, and I loved it. I miss my pantry. Because now, like I said, I got that small closet that was like a broom closet. Like we had a broom closet over there too. But anyhow, you just have to make do, don't you? So anyway, this is downstairs in our basement. You saw pictures of that, but I don't think I had a picture when I had like Christmas stuff down there too. Then this is when I painted Carly's room. Before I did it that red, I did it this lavender, and I did some faux painting. So anyway, it was a pretty like little fairy princess room. And that's the kids. This is a picture that we took to put in our Christmas cards. And Aslan's not looking in that one, so we did another take. This picture's a little bit darker, but I just thought Aslan and Noah's faces were just so funny. They were such good dogs. And then here's me. Oh, this is probably a couple years before we moved. And I was outside hanging my garland for Christmas. And I had rechanged the color of all the spindle work. And yes, I painted all that by myself. We did all the trim. You can even see the green around the windows. Harry did that. I took care of the porch. He did around the windows. And even all this gingerbread molding that we had, if you can see in there, I did that spindle work too. And I had to find teeny tiny brushes to paint those. It took me probably almost a week to put 2 coats of paint on all that spindle work and the gingerbread molding and everything. Because we had this gingerbread molding, these wheel things, but then we had a little strip. Well, let's see if I can find pictures of my house where, see, it had like this little strip with these like little teeny tiny spindles about this big, and those spindles were broken up into like 3 sections, and I had to find a little tiny paintbrush to do all that. So that's why it took me so long. So these are just some pictures of Chicago. There's downtown Chicago. And if you ever watched that show, Married with Children, that was where they did the little opening of that show. This is down on Michigan Avenue, going along Lake Michigan. This is just more down towards Lake Michigan, down that way. And somebody in their boat on Lake Michigan. And then this is Lake Michigan, but not down by the shore. This is going over into the downtown area. Let me just show you there like that. This high-rise is an apartment complex, and I used to call it the Jetson building because it reminded me of the Jetsons. It was like very futuristic. I used to laugh at that when I'd see that. And then this is me and my brother Michael. And there we are. So there's that. And then some random pictures. I'll finish this up with some random pictures. This is 1969, and that's Easter at my grandma's house. That's me and my brother David. And you can't really tell, but I got my Cindy Brady curls there. My mom loved to do that. See, and there you go. Almost every picture you'll see Cindy Brady curls. And that little girl is Angela. She lived behind us. That's my cousin Jimmy, my cousin Carrie, my brother Michael. We're outside having some cake. This is 1965. That's me, my brother David, my Aunt Paula. She was pregnant with my cousin Ronnie, and that's my cousin Jimmy. So there's Jimmy there, and that was Jimmy there. So this is my great-grandma, my mom's father's mother. So that's my mom's grandma. That's me and my brother David with her. And then this is my grandpa and grandma. So grandpa, that's his mommy. And this is where our Jewish heritage goes, right there through that side of the family. In case anybody's wondering, that's my grandma, my mom's mom, and me, and my brother David. And no picture of that lamp in this picture. And this is still at my grandma and grandpa's house. That's my dad. There's some white stuff on here. It's like it came off on the picture. I don't know, so you can't really see good. But that's my dad and my mom. And that's me. And our Chihuahua had some puppies. And that was one of the puppies. There's me. I think I was a year old in that picture. And I think my mom said I was about 2 or 3 months in this picture. And that's my mom and her mom and grandma. And there's that lamp. And this is when we lived in Washington, D.C. That's me and my brother David. And that's me, and that's my grandma Connor. That's my dad's mom. And then this, I showed this. This was at my grandpa's house. There's that lamp again with my cousins, my brother. And then there's me and my brother again, Easter at my grandma Connor's house. And in case anybody's probably saying, well, where's your brother at? Your other brother, Michael. I have some pictures of him, but these are before he was born. Michael was born when I was 7, and my brother David was 8. So there's like a gap there. So, but anyway, and I do have some other pictures, and I'll show some other pictures random from time to time. But before I go, I have to tell you guys, remember I showed you guys these M&Ms that I show you? I bought these M&Ms, maybe I didn't. But I bought these M&Ms at the store on Friday, these red velvet ones. Oh, are they so good? They are so good. So, I recommend these. If you see these, I recommend to get them. I think they were a little bit pricey because it's a new item. But if they still have a bunch of those left over, like after Valentine's Day is over, where candy goes on 50%, I'm buying a whole bunch of those because they are good. And remember, chocolate lasts for a long time. You can put it in your freezer. You don't even have to put it in your freezer. If you keep it in anywhere between like 70 degrees and lower, like, you know, 60, 65, 70 degrees, and it's in dark, like no sunlight or anything, and it's not by heat or anything like that, chocolate will last for a little while. So anyway, or if you have one of those seal-a-meal things, see, you can put it in there, and chocolate will last a very long time if you seal it, or you can use your vacuum seal or put it in jars or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to buy a bunch of those, and that's probably what I'll do. I'll use my seal-a-meal on it, but those are really good. And the reason why I'm going to buy a bunch, because I don't know if this is like a special thing that they're going to do for Valentine's Day, and it'll be a whole year before I can ever have any more of those again. But they're quite yummy. So anyway, I showed you all my pictures, and I will see you guys vlogging tomorrow in the snow.